Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 3, episode 3 of Getting Tipsy with Erin. This week's episode is what we have on tap is now a good time to sell. So I'm just going to wait for a second. I always wait and let some people get on just to build up the audience a little bit. But it's now a good time to sell. Hi, Wayne. My husband is watching. He's such a good supporter. I will, while I'm waiting for a couple people to get on, I have had the last 2 episodes have been at 1 o'clock, and today we are at 4 o'clock. I am trying to see, what time works best for everyone. If you have some feelings about what time is good or better, feel free to comment below and let me know, or message me. I will always post these later, so they'll show up. And you can always watch them again later, rewatch them, or watch them for the first time. Feel free. But the reason I had to do it at 4 o'clock is because today I had, turning 40 this year. So today I had my first mammogram. So I will do my little soapbox of, ladies, if you're turning 40 or if you're over 40, go get your mammogram. Or gentlemen, get your colonoscopy if it's that time. So if your doctor tells you to get something screened, go ahead and get it screened. We've lost a lot of good people recently, and there's a reason that we have all these tests and we're supposed to get them done, so let's get them done. It wasn't painful. I'm still here to talk about it, so it was easy. But anyway, so we got a couple people on. So today's topic is now a good time to sell? So one of my favorite questions, I get it on text messages and my email, in conversations at the brewery. People say, can you stop by, or can you just do a market evaluation on my house? We're trying to figure out if now's a good time to sell, or if we should redo the kitchen, or how much longer we should be in our home. I love the question. I love it from past clients. I love it from future clients, or just from friends. Because it gives me an opportunity to get more acquainted with what's going on in their market, in their neighborhood. And I love to talk about real estate. So there's a lot going on. It may be because they've had a baby and they're looking for more space. It may be because they've gotten a job and they want a bigger home, or they want to move to the ocean front. Or it may be because they're moving out of the area. And or they may want to renovate, and they're just trying to figure out if it's the right idea for them. Unfortunately, I can't always give just an easy, flat answer as now the good time to sell. It always varies. It's dependent on several factors, including the person's situation. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you 3 factors that I always look at when I'm helping to determine for a new or a past client if now is a good time for them to make the move. So fill up your beer, or again, me, it's still the work day, so another big gulp. Fill up your beer, your big gulp, and join me for a little mini training. So step 1, I have to understand, hi Becky, I have to understand the current situation. So what's the client's current situation? When did they buy their current house? What do they owe on their home? Do they have kids? Do they have, are there 3 kids in 1 bedroom? What's their commute to work? What's going on? So let's figure out, what are their overall goals? When do they want to move by? Do they have a certain deadline? Are they getting orders? Are they having to move to California by March? And here we are at the end of January. Or do they have to sell? I have another client who doesn't have to sell. They're ready to move. So they're not in a tight situation. It's just they can if they can. Then I look at things, are they moving up in a new price range? And is that going to affect how they sell their current home? Interest rates, they can always affect affordability. I do have a loan officer that I work with that I will refer you to. And if you don't like them, I've got some other ones that I can refer you to. But I do work with some loan officers that can help you, and we can get that process moving as well. Step 2, the market. How's the supply and demand? Are we in a buyer's market or a seller's market? Specifically in the price range they're in. I just had this conversation with someone who lives in one price range but has 3 properties in a lower price range. And I explained to him that as long as those 3 properties are in good condition and we price them appropriately, they will be gone in a heartbeat. Hi, Jim. How are you? They'll be gone in a heartbeat. I just looked up actually for a buyer in the last half hour. The market in January 1st in Virginia Beach was at 1.91 months supply, and a healthy supply, a balanced buyers and sellers market is at 6 months. And what that means is if no other houses went on the market as of January 1, everything would be sold in less than 2 months. So right now, anything that goes on the market that is priced appropriately and in good condition is sold quickly. Another stat I have pulled up here, in December of 2018 in Virginia Beach, there were 1,804 active resale listings. 1,804 active resale listings in December of 2018. December of 2019, there were 1,286, 1,286. So that's a decrease of almost 29% of active listings year to year on the same month. So important to look at supply and demand, where home prices headed. Right now sales prices are going up because the inventory is not there. So we look at that. And then looking at both sides of the coin, again, if they're selling their current home and buying a new home, how's that going to affect them? And so I have to look at both of those pictures too. Now, if they're selling and then moving out of the area, I don't necessarily have to look at that. And I can always also help refer them to someone out of the area as well. And then step 3 is their house data. So comparing your house data to the current market value, looking at any updates you've done to the home. Maybe you've gone in and updated the kitchen. Maybe you've replaced the windows, replaced the roof. And then looking at changes in the neighborhood since you purchased the home, looking at the market in the neighborhood and what's going on. And then also looking at how much you owe on your home and what your estimated proceeds would be in a variety of scenarios. And actually, it's interesting. I didn't think about this, but I'm going to do this right now. Hold on. I recently met with a family, and there's a lot of information. So I guess I can show that in a second, because after going over all the data, it's important that I meet with you or the client, whoever's asking me, and go over the facts. And it's not me giving an opinion on whether or not it makes sense for someone to sell. I just present you with the information, and it's got to be your opinion. It's got to be what's right for you and your family based on the information I give you. But for example, with this family, I went through and I looked at homes in their specific neighborhood. And looked at kind of and I don't know if you can see it, but I looked at sales prices in the last 6 months and how long they had been on the market and the conditions of the homes. And then I looked at, this was homes in that general area of Virginia Beach that were in the price range we were thinking. And then as I looked at that price range, I also went back and looked at in that area, and I'm going to say Little Neck. It was in Little Neck. So not necessarily in the specific neighborhood, but in Little Neck in general, there were no houses on the market in that price range, which, I mean, and I'm talking $30,000 below and actually $50,000 below and $80,000 above. And that's going to give them an ability to push their sales price a little bit higher because there's nothing there. And so if someone's looking, it's going to put them somewhere where they can get a little bit of a higher price point and they don't have to sell. So again, it's helpful to them. So it's trying to gather all that information and figure out what the right decision is for them. So then I do what's called a seller's estimated net, and I'm going to cover the address. I do a seller's estimated net, and I break out and tell you what all the, what 3 different sales prices are and the different costs that you can incur. And then at the bottom, I'll tell you, what you can expect to net. And I do worst case scenario because I'd rather you not be surprised. And at that point, that's when you have to decide, is now the right time to sell for you? So the clear-cut answer to is now a good time for me to sell is it depends. So sorry to kind of give you that information, but there's a lot of factors. Again, what's your current situation? What's the market? And then what's the data on your house? I'm happy to sit down and go over it with you. There's never any strings attached. I'm happy to do an annual review with you. I'll do it every year if you want. And we'll sit down and just figure out what works for you, and we can continue to update it every year. You just have to reach out. So if you've been wondering the exact same thing, I had a client, he said I work my magic. So I can come work my magic and get you some of your own custom numbers, and we'll set up the plan that works best for you, and we'll figure it out. So thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Getting Tipsy with Erin. And if you want to see more fun video topics, keep tuning in every Thursday. Again, if there's a time that works great for you, let me know below. If you have any comments, feel free to comment below. If there's any topics you want to discuss, let me know below. I'll be sure to tune into those. Next week, we are going to talk about the top 3 house hunting hats. So what are my top 3 house hunting hats? So love to see you again. And if you want to make sure that you're notified when I'm going live, make sure you're following this business page and click the 3 dots in the top right and tap receive notifications. So thanks again, guys. Have a great Thursday. It was fun getting tipsy with you. And see you next week. Bye.